Now before you can disassemble the exhaust manifold, for you newbies out there, we're going to have to show you what kind of tools you'll be looking for to get the job done.
Okay, well thanks Rodney. I think some of the tools you should have in order here that come in handy with doing the head is this one in particular, which is a kind of a universal mirror. That comes in real handy for the front cover, which is the timing belt cover at the front. Obviously a couple of pry bars, ball peen hammer. You're going to need a needle nose and a side cutter square nose set of pliers. The feeler gauge is not something you need right now, but if you wanted to check the valves, they're usually you would need a feeler gauge or a technique. This little contraption we've already seen, we've used that to test the cylinder. Obviously air. This is a very handy tool for taking the rocker cover off, using a 10mm socket on there. Selection of screwdrivers, of course. In terms of air power tools, if you have access, as you can see here, I've got a 1/2-inch drive air, and I have, this one's very handy. Puts out about 30 foot-pounds of torque, and I'm not sure what that is in Newton meters, but we talk in terms of foot-pounds. This is a handy tool for disassembly and reassembly, and then a selection of impact sockets in metric. We're using 10, 12, 13, 14, 17, and 19. And also impact deep sockets come in handy in certain positions. Here are two tools that you should consider buying. I bought these from Snap-on recently. This is a 12-point impact 1/2-inch drive socket necessary to retorque the head bolts without breaking.
Now where would the head bolts be located?
Oh, here, let's have a quick look at that, shall we, Rodney? It's right here. Now these head bolts are normally recommended to be replaced, and so as you can see, this new socket fits right on there, has 12 points because the head bolts are 12 point. Alright, and then with depending on what kind of a torque wrench you use, you should be A-OK as far as removal. There's a considerable amount of torque there. I would estimate in the area of 150 foot-pounds of torque for each head bolt. And just while we're on the subject, the reassembly method is to, for example, when you orient your head bolt number 1, which is right here, and so you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a circular pattern. The torquing sequence is to bring all the head bolts down to 29 foot-pounds. As I say, I'm not sure what that is in Newton meters. And when you initially torque them all that way, then generally you could paint a dot on here and then do a 90-degree torque. And then once you've done all the bolts once and checked them, then you can do a secondary torque down from that marker that you've made on the head bolt. You torque it down another 90 to 105 degrees, and that gives you approximately the torque required to torque the head.